The entire American intelligence community agrees Donald Trump was cultivated and willingly became a Russian asset. You don't have to take my word for it. This comes directly from Yuri Borisovich Shvets, a former KGB spy posted to Washington, D.C. by the USSR in the 80s. Donnie first came on the Russian radar in 1977 when he married Ivana, which triggered a spying operation by the Czech intelligence agency and the KGB. When he opened his first hotel, he was given a sweetheart deal on the 200 televisions needed for each room by a KGB spotter agent who used the deal to cozy up to Donald, which may be the best investment ever made. For the price of 200 TVs, the Russian government purchased an American president. By 1987, Trump was visiting Moscow, and the KGB was flattering him, praising him, and asking him to go into politics. It was pure love bombing. They literally told him he was incredibly handsome, strong, smart, and that he could change the world. From that moment on, Donnie was in love with Russia. Donnie came back to America and tried to run for president, which he failed at. But he did put an ad in the New York Times screaming about how America shouldn't defend other countries and bitching about how much he hates NATO. The KGB were ecstatic. This was a huge success. They'd easily converted Lil Donnie into a mouthpiece for Russian propaganda, which he remains to this day. In 1992, Trump was a complete failure, and in utter ruin. He was months away from losing his father's entire empire, and it was the Russian mafia, made up of many former KGB agents, including Donnie's handlers, who bailed him out. For decades, Trump knowingly and actively laundered money from the drug, prostitution, arms, and human trafficking trades. To this day, he still makes the bulk of his income from empty luxury towers used to launder Russian money. In the 2000s, Trump remained a propaganda mouthpiece for Russian agents, and it was through this that Donnie took up the Obama birther conspiracy. When Donnie decided to run for president, the Russian government began the largest, most expensive, most sophisticated propaganda campaign they've ever attempted, all in support of Donald Trump. During his 2016 campaign, his manager, Paul Manafort, had deep ties to Russia. His prior job was specifically getting Russian assets elected in Ukraine. How weird that he'd suddenly volunteer to help get Donnie elected out of the goodness of his heart without receiving a single paycheck. There's, of course, the infamous meeting at Trump Tower, where Russian intelligence officers passed information to Don Jr. And there's Carter Page, Donnie's foreign policy advisor, being a known Russian asset who communicated directly to the Russian government during the campaign. Oh, and there's Michael Flynn, who was directly passing information and promising to carry out Russian orders from Russian officials. During COVID, while Americans were dying, while testing was nearly impossible, Donnie secretly sent priceless testing machines to Putin as gifts. And at Putin's order, Donnie kept this secret, which is just insane. We literally have it on record and confirmed that Donald Trump took direct orders from Vladimir Putin and followed them to the letter. Later, when Donnie was rightly thrown to the fucking curb by the American people, it was Putin who he called to console him and plan his return to power. Over the next 4 years, he and Putin had secret one-on-one conversations. What they talked about, what they planned, what Putin ordered Donnie to do is still unknown, but it won't be good for you, me, or the American people, because Donald Trump is a known, verified Russian asset.
Now ask yourself, what is the only country on earth that would benefit from a weakened or dissolved NATO?
The State Department, the defense bureaucracy, the intelligence services, and all of the rest need to be completely overhauled and reconstituted to fire the deep staters and put America first. We have to put America first. Finally, we have to finish the process we began under my administration of fundamentally reevaluating NATO's purpose and NATO's mission. Our foreign policy establishment keeps trying to pull the world into conflict with a nuclear-armed Russia based on the lie that Russia represents our greatest threat. But the greatest threat to Western civilization today is not Russia. It's probably, more than anything else, ourselves and some of the horrible USA-hating people that represent us.
Would you rather have 4 years of Trump as a dictator or 4 years of Biden?
I'd rather have 8 years of Trump.
No, I'm saying, would you rather have 4 years of Trump as a dictator or 4 years of Biden as a president?
Trump as a dictator. He's not going to sell us out.
And last question, this is about foreign aid.
You could be proud of Trump to be an American. If under Biden, you better be hiding.
Well, this, Tucker?
Yeah.
He's my hero. And then right under it says, stop liberal intolerance.
If Vladimir Putin were running against Joe Biden for president, who would you vote for?
For our country? That's a hard question. Probably Putin.
It is?
Yeah, I don't think Putin's as bad as people want to.
You would vote for Vladimir Putin?
I would. Over Biden? Hell yeah.
You would vote for Vladimir Putin for president of the United States?
Putin wants to go back to good morality. He doesn't allow all this crap about genders and pronouns and crap.
Do you think these views have to do with Tucker Carlson welcoming Vladimir Putin?
No. I say we need to get out of the Ukraine-Russia thing. Let them work it out.
So you would vote for Vladimir Putin over Joe Biden for president of the United States?
I would. I'd rather have a corrupt Russian than a corrupt Biden.